All right, good morning. Good morning. Let's call the Rankin County Board of Supervisors meeting October 28, 2021 to order. And I think we're going to kind of deviate, but as we call it to order, let's start out with the invocation. I don't see the great Mike Word in here right now, but Slade, do you mind picking up an invocation to get us started out?
I don't mind at all. Let's pray. Lord God, you've given us this day to come together to serve this community. You've provided these men with everything that they need, all the wisdom and the discernment that they need. Lord, you promise to give it whenever we ask, and we're asking because we need that wisdom and discernment to make good decisions that really will help all of the citizens of our county and will impact our community in such a way that the quality of life here continues to just improve. Father, thank you for the blessings that you provide to us, how you give us resources, Lord, and you give us people, especially, who can carry out the responsibilities that they have. Father, we think about our law enforcement guys especially. We think about our emergency responders. We think about how they take care of us and protect us. And Father, our prayer is that you would protect them, bring them home safely to their families in Christ's name.
Great, thank you, Mr. Slade. Normally we would call the Planning Commission to order, but I want to skip that on the agenda and jump down to item number 4 that's here to put our normal Board of Supervisors meeting in place, to jump to item 5 in dealing with public comment, because it's a very special, important day for us on that same side. I know we have some people that are here, and this is kind of our priority on our agenda today. I know we have a lot of things we're going to get to, but we do want to take a special moment for Ms. Kim and have a special moment for her if we can. So Mr. Slay, I believe, has got a good resolution, so I'm going to turn it over to him to talk.
Absolutely. Gentlemen, I'm really excited to be able to share with you a resolution that has been executed by the board celebrating the life of Nathaniel Parker Griffith. I'm going to try my best to get through this. I pray for a lot of strength this morning, but I'm going to do my best. So, Kim, Milton, just bear with us, okay? First and foremost, I want Kim and Milton to come forward. Annabeth, Natalie, y'all please come forward and stand here with me, and maybe that'll force me to hold it together. Guys, we're going to celebrate the life of Nathaniel Parker Griffith. We're going to declare tomorrow, the 29th of October, which is Nathan's birthday, to be Nathan Griffith Day in Rankin County. Whereas the Rankin County Board of Supervisors is honored to recognize, celebrate, and commend the life of one of our own, Nathaniel Parker Griffith, son of Milton and Kim Griffith, brother of Annabeth and Natalie Griffith, who was born October 29, 2003, and who left us much too soon. It is with profound respect and admiration for the way that Nathan embraced life that we honor his memory on the occasion of his upcoming birthday. And we celebrate with his family the precious memories of Nathan's contributions to so many in our community. We, the Rankin County Board of Supervisors, hereby declare October the 29th, 2021 to be Nathan Griffith Day in Rankin County, Mississippi. And whereas we celebrate Nathan's infectious and winsome smile and personality, his deeply rooted and steadfast love for his family, his camaraderie with his friends, his care and his concern for his classmates, and his fierce loyalty to his teammates. We celebrate Nathan's intense passion for outdoor life, especially hunting and fishing, and the way that he invested much energy and time in such pursuits, and in becoming a most successful outdoorsman at a young age. We deeply admire Nathan's ability to tear apart and rebuild everyday objects and transform them into unique and useful gadgets. We recognize Nathan as a connoisseur of country music, if it was played loudly and publicly, especially. He was a connoisseur of chicken wings with ranch dressing, and he was a connoisseur of everything that is associated with Mississippi State University. And whereas we recognize Nathan as a good young man, although Nathan was too humble to accept such praise, we recognize Nathan's incredible work ethic and we commend him as an example of faithful service to everyone. We recognize Nathan's athletic pursuits and his love of baseball in particular, and what an incredible loss his passing was for the Brandon High School baseball team and the fishing team. We honor and respect Nathan's deep love for his mom and dad, his sisters, his grandparents, and his extended family. Now therefore it is resolved that the life of Nathan Griffith is to be celebrated as a life well lived, a life of service, and a life of incredible work ethic, creativity, and spirit. It is with great pride, deep respect, and love for his family that on behalf of all citizens of Rankin County, we celebrate the life of Nathan Griffith, and we declare October the 29th, 2021 to be Nathan Griffith Day in Rankin County. That's resolved today, October the 28th. It's signed by each of the supervisors and by a clerk. We finished this resolution with one of the songs that was one of Nathan's favorites. I praise you for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Psalm 139:14. I'm excited that we're able to do this because his life is such a shining example to all of us of how to live your life. Take advantage of the opportunity we have to live faithfully and to live with incredible creativity and work ethic and spirit. We love you guys. On behalf of the Board of Supervisors, we want to present you with this original resolution. And we can't say enough how moved we are and how sympathetic we are about the situation. And we love you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Slay, for doing that, and our prayers and loves to the Griffith family. We're going to move out of the Board of Supervisors meeting back at this time into the Planning Commission, so we'll call the Planning Commission to order. Ms. Renee, good morning. We'll start going through your agenda. So item number 2, consideration and approval for the minutes of September 30th. Board wishes to take action. So motion to approve by Mr. Morrison. Second by Mr. Calhoun. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed with the like sign. Item 2 passes. I don't see anything under old business. Ms. Renee?
There is no old business.
Okay, so we'll go into item 4, new considerations for item number 1.
Good morning. The first item is a rezoning request for Robert Pons on Bilbrew Road. Mr. Pons is seeking to rezone 10.29 acres of a 78-acre parcel. The parcel is currently zoned A2, Agricultural Intensive District, and he's seeking a change to RE1, Residential Estate. Bilbrew Road divides the 78-acre parcel, and the portion to be rezoned is located on the south side of Bilbrew Road. That's an aerial view of the property. Mr. Pons is proposing a 4-lot residential development. All of the lots will contain 2.5 acres, and they will front on the public road. He said that home sizes would be 2,000 square feet or larger. This is views of that property. And then these are surrounding properties on Clanton Cove.
So, Mr. Gaines, whether you want to set a public hearing or not?
Yeah. Renee, this is North 25.
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure I make a motion we set that public hearing.
All right. So a motion by Mr. Gaines to set the public hearing, second by Mr. Morrison. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with like sign. So item 1 is set for a public hearing. Item number 2, Ms. Renee.
Okay, item number 2 is a rezoning request by Jason Sykes on Highway 80. Mr. Sykes is seeking to rezone a 16.20 acre parcel from R1B medium density residential to C2 general commercial. The property fronts on Highway 80 and abuts the railroad to the rear. That's an aerial view of that property. This is a view of the zoning map, going from the city limits of Brandon, the white area along 80 all the way down to Andrew Chapel. That blue color is the R1B zoning designation. There is no commercial zoning activity, zoning designation of any kind along Highway 80 from the city limits of Brandon until you reach the city limits of Pelahatchie. If the zoning change is approved, Mr. Sykes is proposing construction of a strip center, youth recreation center, and a welding shop. The strip center will include a general store, cafe, and possibly a barber shop. He has these sketch drawings that just shows how he envisions the building will look. If the zoning change is approved, he would have to come back before you for architectural review and with a detailed site plan. This is a view of the recreation center. It's going to contain areas designed to teach basic skills to youth. He'll have volunteers who come in and teach like art classes, music classes, even like auto body things like how to change oil, those kind of things. The welding shop will be at the rear of the property. It will be separated from the rest of the property by a privacy fence. Mr. Sykes is a blacksmith, and he will use it to make small items that he plans to sell in the store along with other Mississippi-made products. He said there won't be any late hours. He would like to close by dark unless for some reason there's a special event. The zoning ordinance will also require a 20-foot buffer with a 6-foot screen on both sides of the property. And this is a view of that property. And then these are surrounding properties. So we've received 10 calls in opposition and 1 call in favor. And Mr. Sykes is here today if you have any questions for him.
And these calls, you say you had an opposition?
10.
Where's that at on 8?
Really?
Highway 80 past East Business Park, going toward Pelahatchie, east on Pelahatchie. I'll go back to the map.
Renee, I have a question.
Sir?
Does it meet the requirements to be rezoned?
Well, there are, we have multiple findings that would support the change. You know, it is located on a major thoroughfare. So I believe that there is evidence or findings to support a change.
I'm trying to figure out right where it is. What's that up
Across
top
the
to the
road.
right?
Is that the co-op?
No, do y'all know where the Bogans live? Cliff Bogan, where the ponds and all are?
Right.
I think that is this area right in here.
Huh.
And this is his property here.
Okay.
He's kind of almost midway between East Business Park Drive and Andrew Chapel, a little closer down toward the Andrew Chapel
Yeah.
end, I believe.
Is that where Grumpy and all that is? The buildings where,
They're back west.
Oh,
Suburbs.
East Business Park, yeah. That's just that borders the city limits of Brandon, East Business Park.
Yeah.
That gray area, this is East Business Park. And then this is Andrew Chapel Road right down here. You have some industrial zoning here and here.
Wow.
But
What are
no
their
commercial.
What are their reasons for not wanting it? I can't imagine why.
Some of them said safety issues. They don't want, they think it will bring a lot of new people, traffic, noise to the area. They say that's a quiet neighborhood. And they don't want the serenity of their,
Do you have pictures of the surrounding area, like the homes, how many homes are around it?
I showed you what we had here.
Not much there.
This starts surrounding properties.
such big
They're hard to
lots. Hard to
see.
see. Lots are so
Well,
big.
I'd like to do this. I make a motion that we set it for a public hearing, but I want Mr. Sykes to know there's quite a bit of opposition. And you need to get with the people that are opposed to it, and until they tell me, I mean, I represent all of y'all, until they tell me this is what we're happy with, I'm not gonna vote. I mean, there's 5 of us, so there may be 4, a vote of 4 to 1. This lady's doing this. Yes, ma'am. Yes, yes. Well, we normally don't, but you're here. Let her, please, President.
Yeah, sure. Come on up. Absolutely, just come on up. Now,
No, come up here.
If you would, just come up to the podium, and if you would, just introduce yourself to the board so they know who you are.
Yes, sir. My name is Christy Tuttle. As Renee said, Renee, do you mind putting the slide back up that shows actually the parcel drawing?
Well, that's one of them.
That's it.
This one.
No.
Do the
Anyhow,
aerial, yeah.
Right.
Area.
The property in question for rezoning is K-9 5310. It butts up to my property I live on, which is, I can't see it.
This one right here, I do
Yes, that's my
believe.
property. It's 50 feet from my house, okay? So I do want to give you all an opportunity to hear why there is so much opposition.
really
I'm here to
over
speak
here.
on behalf of about 22 residents that
Yep.
live in that community. We've got a petition. I will be sending and scanning that to Renee today. We've been told there will be a welding shop, a barber shop, a general store with a cafe, and a recreational center with a gym. We didn't know anything about this until we got a letter about a week ago to make us aware of the rezoning request. It was our understanding that the property had been bought by the church about 2 years ago or so, and there was plans to build a church there, and the land had been cleared, and then I believe there is a stream, some sort of water that runs through that property that did not allow the church to move forward in that building. We have not seen, or I have not seen until now, any kind of layout or architectural plans of the structures being proposed for building. The general store with the cafe, there was concern, is that cafe gonna serve beer? What implications could that have for those of us that live right there? Literally, again, I'm 50 feet from that property.
Sure.
What population or demographic is gonna be brought in with the youth rec center? Is that gonna cause problems with teens that are up to no good or something like that? Again, we're concerned about the traffic it may bring in that could lead to other issues. Those of us that moved out there did so intentionally to get away from the commercial aspect of being in town. I had lived within the city limits of Brandon for 21 years and chose to move out into the county.
Wow, you don't even look 21.
I'm 50, actually. So thank you. But we moved out of town to get away from all of that. We wanted to be away from the busyness of the city. Many of my neighbors are longtime residents. They've been there 25, 35. My neighbor to the left of me, Mr. Benton Gilmore, has lived out there for 40 years. We chose the peace, the space, and the rural life for a reason. And this rezoning could greatly impact our property values, could increase traffic, could increase crime. And I want to ask this, if this were to go forward and the structures be built, if those businesses don't flourish, then we're left with abandoned buildings out there that are literally sitting there as possible eyesores. Then that creates a haven for other issues. So perhaps there is a place for this proposed development, but I wholeheartedly believe it is not parcel K-9 5310 on Highway 80. On behalf of 21 other residents and myself, I'd like to go on record stating that we are emphatically
Yeah, thank you for your comments, and we appreciate it. And let me just kind of remind you of our process. So today it was on the agenda just to set a hearing in order to hear voices and concerns and stuff that's out there. We appreciate you coming up and speaking. We want you guys' input. I know Mr. Gaines does, especially in his area. So we'll take your comments, put them down. What we'll probably do, I would assume, is set the public hearing so we can get more comments, get more feedback from the area, so we'll be sure we hear everybody, and then we'll go from there. But thank you for your time for coming in.
Let me confirm with you
Sure.
We did, in the letter that we all did receive, that the public hearing has been set for November 15th at 9. Is that
We're gonna
correct?
do
No, we're
No,
gonna
no,
set it
that,
today.
it has to be approved. We have to
We
set
have
the
to do it
public
today.
hearing.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
that,
And that'll be done
and the,
today?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's see what happens.
So then on the public hearing, we'll get everybody's comments. You guys can come back in. You don't have to repeat what you said. We have it on the record, but there may be some other people that want to say for or against or whatever. So we want the feedback from the community for
And
sure.
sending the petition to Renee will be included in that record, is that correct?
Yeah, we'll take all your stuff that you have and we'll send it over and put it in our notes and we'll go
Probably
from
good
there.
though for you to come back the 15th.
Sure.
Just to
Sir?
be good for you to be present.
He mentioned it'd be good for you to come back on the
Absolutely.
15th and you don't have to speak again. You
Right.
did a
And
great
I'm
job. So.
thinking there may be some other residents that actually
Sure.
want to attend. the
Okay.
Sure,
hearing.
welcome.
So nothing's getting approved today. The only thing that would happen if Mr. Gaines makes a motion is set the public hearing to get comment.
Perfect.
So,
I appreciate
okay.
it.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Yes. Sure. Yes, sir. Come on. I'll let her speak. I'll let you too. That's okay. Come on.
So, I'm Jason Sykes, I'm the gentleman.
Sure.
Just real quick, so every one of you will know, the purpose of this development here, okay? First of all, I'm a banker of 23 years, all right? I manage a mortgage bank locally. I live in Brandon, over 20 years, I'm a deacon at Cross Gates Baptist Church. I have a son that's autistic, okay? And so through the journey that I've gone through with my son, it's like-
Let's address us.
Oh,
No.
I'm everybody. I'm
No,
sorry.
no.
I'm
You
used
They
just
can
you
hear
just
you.
get
They
us.
can hear you.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's
Okay.
all right.
I want everybody here. So through that journey, you know, there's one common denominator that I've seen. I've polled a lot of children, adolescent children with autism, Asperger's, etc. And I've asked them all similar questions. And the last question that I asked them, they all answered the same thing. And that question was, what is it you want out of life? What do you want to do with your life? What do you want to see happen? And every one of them said, all I want is a friend. Okay? That's a very profound statement. And I said, well, you know, when I was growing up, we had places to go, different things. You know, go to the Boys and Girls Club. We had, you know, different parks and other places that we went and made friends. And, you know, you had bullying when I was a kid, probably the same as you do now, okay? But I've just seen too many children getting told that they're different, and, you know, the sense of their worth is diminished. And it breaks my heart. And I've had so many young people cry on my shoulder as I tell them, no, that's not right. It's every other day, okay? And so to tell you, first of all, financially, I'm doing all this out of my pocket, all right? I don't want to put my business on the street, but just so you know, I'm paying for this. And number one, yes, I am a blacksmith, and I am a welder, and I'm a farmer too. I got too many hobbies. But I want to see young people learn trades and have opportunities to try trades, to see if they even like it, okay? And so, yeah, I wanted to open a general store to sell things made in Mississippi and other things, you know, needed things. Other blacksmiths to sell their items that are local. And then the cafe, I'll go ahead and tell you, I'm not a late night fellow. Not going to sell alcohol. Don't want to. That's a breakfast and lunch kind of deal. My family had a seafood restaurant for years, and I always wanted my own little place, you know, so folks can eat, buy something. If they need a haircut, get a haircut, okay? The rec center, first of all, everything that would go on there would be scheduled, all right? Nothing else, yeah, well, there would be some things outside, but, you know, nothing crazy going on. You know, not a youth hangout on Friday nights in the parking lot acting stupid. Okay, I grew up in South Jackson and I remember McDowell Road. Did that, saw the results. Don't want to do it here. Okay, this place is gonna give young folks an opportunity. I tell you what, it's gonna give. Let's say you have a child in a wheelchair, right? It's gonna give that child an opportunity to say or to see, hey, I can weld. Hey, I can do this, right? I'm not incapable of making a living, okay? So I'm gonna have, or I would like to have, an auto body bay, all right? A metalworking bay, a carpenter shop. How many of you went to high school and you had a shop class? Did that. Other side, music. I play instruments. I've been playing in church orchestras for years. You know, you don't. I mean, you know, there's bands in school, but I don't know. Some kids may not have that opportunity, and I would give it. Art and crafts, language arts. I've got 5 bilingual people that have volunteered to help. All would be licensed professionals doing these things. All right, parents would have to give permission. They would have to be of a certain age. We understand those things. It's a place for disabled youth and all youth to go and to meet people their age and to be encouraged and not kicked every day. This is not going to disrupt what, you know, I would not have a problem living by this. I can tell you, I live on 16 acres down 471, okay? In a quiet area, but there's stuff going on. Look, I don't want to interrupt what everybody has going on around me. But the bottom line is I felt like this property gave us enough room and enough opportunity to give back to the young people of this area and other areas, because I can tell you, I plan on doing this in other areas of Mississippi. Because what else are we doing? I'm tired of kids crying, guys.
Mr. Sites, thank you for your comments.
I just
We
wanted to
appreciate
say
you coming in.
Thank you.
And again, like I mentioned a second ago, the point of today's meeting on the agenda is to set the public hearing and to continue to gather comments. We appreciate your service to the community and your church and our kids. So thank you for your comments as well.
Give me the time.
Thank you. Hey,
Sure.
Sykes, please get with the other, and we talk, get with all the homeowners. And y'all, I would like for y'all to work this out amongst y'all and it not come really, not be decided here.
Sure.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sykes. Thank you for the comments. Mr. Gaines, you had a motion a second ago.
set it.
All right, so motion by Mr. Gaines to set the public hearing, second by Mr. Morrison. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed with light sign. So public hearing set for the 15th of November. Item number 3, Ms. Renee.
Is a conditional use permit for Josh Vaughn at 155 Ghoulie Road. Mr. Vaughn is seeking the conditional use permit to operate an office for Delta Tree Service. It's a 3-acre parcel, is zoned A2. This property fronts on Ghoulie Road and abuts the railroad to the rear. The main shop for Delta Tree Service is in Fayette. Equipment is stored there, so it'll be rare for any equipment to be located on this property. Mr. Vaughn is proposing a 2,500 square foot metal building with a brick front. This is a preliminary site plan. If the use is approved, he will have to come back with the detailed site plan and the architectural rendering as well. These are views of that property. And then these are surrounding properties. He's proposing hours of operation as Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. I believe he's here today if y'all have any questions for him.
Mr. Gaines, you're area again. Any questions?
So what is it he wanting to do?
He's wanting to have an office
Stored.
for our Delta Tree Service.
The property's right next to Charlie Killings. I bought the 7 acres from Charlie, and I've just got a little yard out there, and 3 acres
Yeah,
of
Gro-
it's
hey, just-
Josh.
Real quick, just for the record, just tell them your name, address, where you're at. We know who you are. I'm just saying for the record, if you would.
Farm,
Yeah, just so they can hear it for the record. So
161 Twin Lakes
Perfect.
Drive, Brandon.
perfect.
And the property, when Charlie bought the property, he thought he had it all done, and then when I got Renee on our property, you have to have continuous use or whatever, conditional use.
Conditional use. Yeah.
So really, what transpired is, you got Charlie's, all of his property there, then my 4 acres, and then Josh's 3 acres. So that's what he's asking for today.
Okay.
At some point in time, I'll be coming back on my 4, I'm just not doing anything with it right now. So
Okay.
that's, I just want y'all, just to mention that to y'all before I guess Josh gets up to speak. That's how it all went, it's out there.
Previous, this was,
I get, well, you know, when,
It-
and that's what I told Renee, when I looked up on the website, you pull up Rankin County's website, and you pull it up, it shows light industrial. But on the whole 12 acres, or I think what it shows light industrial. But on the other, when you go to the office, it shows Charlie had a conditional use on that, and the other hadn't been done yet, so that's what we just finding out. So that's why we're going through.
all right, I make a motion to set it.
All right. Thank you, Rob. So motion by Mr. Gaines to set the hearing. Second by Mr. Calhoun. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with the like sign. So item 3 passes to set the public hearing. Item number 4, Ms. Renee.
All right, is a rezoning with conditional use permit for Brian Atkinson at 105 Highway 80 East. Mr. Atkinson is seeking to rezone 39.21 acres from C4 Adult Entertainment Commercial District to C3 Major Thoroughfares Commercial District. This property was previously used as a salvage yard. There are 2 existing buildings on the property. That's a view of the zoning map. That area shown in pink is the C4. This is his site plan. He's seeking the conditional use permit to operate a boutique RV and conversion van dealership. The dealership will feature a retail store selling high-end camping and outdoor gear. Initially, they will feature Road Trek, Winnebago, and Midwest Automotive Designs camper vans. There'll also be an education center for in-depth customer training. They'll have rental vans available as well as outside storage. There's also a service shop. Service shop will operate in one of the existing buildings. These are views of that property.
What is the business that is there now?
No.
It used to be
Danny
a
used to be.
salvage yard, but it's gone.
Danny's.
No,
Danny's
that
in
place
Hyde
still there.
County.
That's still there.
It'll be a great improvement to the area.
No, actually.
I think Mr. Baker is here representing Mr. Atkinson, if y'all have
The
questions for
shop you're
him.
talking about is not going anywhere. The shop you're talking about is not going anywhere.
It'll be a great spot.
Yeah.
He's going out there. What was the guy's name on that he died?
Morris Gray.
Yeah, Marsh Gray's property. That's where he's going. Marsh Gray's property. Yeah. I'd make a motion to set the public hearing. I don't have a problem with it.
All right. So a motion to set the public hearing by Mr. Morrison, second by Mr. Bishop. Any further discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Something needs to be on it.
All in favor say aye. Any opposed with the like sign. So item 4 is set for a public hearing. Item 5.
Is a conditional use permit for Eric Hasselbach at 84A Riverbend Drive. Mr. Hasselbach is seeking a conditional use permit to operate a heating and air business on this property. It's a 1.04 acre parcel. It's zoned RE1 residential estate. That's an aerial view of the property. He has a rental home on this property. He started construction of a 2,400 square foot shop for his personal use in October of 2020. He decided in March of 2021 to move his business into this building. He states that the shop is used around 20% of the time to fabricate duct, and then field or job site work takes up about 80% of the time. These are pictures of the inside of that building and the outside. He has 2 employees that work with him in the shop, and we've received 8 calls in opposition. They say that it's a residential area and they don't want to have a business, noise, people, traffic coming in and out. These are views of that property with the shop.
That kind of work, you don't have a lot of traffic coming in and out.
And these are surrounding properties, sir.
Yeah, that's the same deal as before, you know, the neighbors, it is a residential area, and, you know, it's gonna be difficult for me to vote to pass this whenever you're trying to open a business with all those houses there. Come on up.
Sure. Good, if you would, just introduce on the board for the record, please.
My name's Eric Hasselbach. I live at 101 Riverbend Drive, right down the street from the 84A Riverbend Drive. And I've been building ductwork out in my 2-car garage for 11 years for different contractors around the state. And then we go out in the field and install everything. And I had a broken finger not too long ago, and they had to fuse the bones together and this and that. I've been cutting the ductwork out for 27 years with my arm, you know, with sheet metal snips. So in March, I decided, since I had the building built, I should get a plasma cutting table and let the plasma cutter cut everything out for me, and then I can, you know, whoop it together and take it out in the field and put it together. So basically, there won't be any trucks coming in and out delivering materials or anything. If I need any sheet metal, I can bring it in on my 16-foot trailer or on the back of my work truck. And when it comes out of the shop, it'll be going with me to the field to install it. I mean, it's really, it's not going to be any, you know, this big business where everybody in the community needs to worry about noise and this and that. In the summertime, I put an air conditioning unit in, so I keep the doors down. So if there is any hammers tapping on anything, they don't, you know, keeps the sound down. And I talked to a few of the neighbors, and they were just afraid that with the sheet metal shop, it would bring the value of their houses down. And I didn't, if I ever sold the property with the house and the shed, then it should bring their value up, considering what was there before I put everything there. So.
You know, if you would have came to us originally with the idea of doing this, building the shop for the intent of opening a business, you would have been turned down right there. You wouldn't ever be able to build a shop. But instead, you probably got your permit just to build the shop. Now you're wanting to create a business there. And that's just difficult to do right in the middle of a residential area. You know, there's all big lots. You live out there. So hopefully you get some of your neighbors to come and say they're okay with it, you know.
Well, there's a few other businesses on the street. There's a guy that has an auto body shop, a guy that has a roofing business, and some other people doing, you know, using, you know, their residential areas for.
Yeah, but they just haven't come to us and asked for permission.
I guess not. But,
I mean, that's what it comes down to, really.
I mean, basically, you know, 20% of the week, all I really need to do is just, you know, use my plasma cutter to cut the sheet metal out, and then I can load it on my truck and take it somewhere else and beat it together.
I understand.
So
I
it's
do.
not.
How are y'all doing? That's just a 1 acre lot right there with the house and the shop?
I'm not too sure exactly how many acres it is. I was thinking,
How are you doing sewer there?
I put in a treatment plan to connect the house and the shop together. I knew one.
So the shop was already there? I mean, the
No.
shop was there before you, and then you brought your equipment in there?
Yeah, I had a shop.
Okay.
I started in October, and I just needed a place to, you know,
Do some work.
you know, just do some work, do some, you know, keep some stored things, and
Well, what instigated you to come up to us and go this route? I'm just curious.
when I called for my electrical
Yeah.
permit, or
Right. Keep your file.
Inspection,
yeah, he
inspection.
Yeah.
he come out and said, "Oh, you've got a business up in here," and I was like, "Well, I didn't consider it as a business because all the companies I work for, you know, they've got a lot more than what I got there."
Well, obviously, I'm sure you got your renters going to be in favor of it.
Yeah, they're in favor because, you know, when I'm there, the young lady just had a baby this past week, so she feels more comfortable that there's a few people around. You know.
Well, I would suggest trying to get with you know, adjacent neighbors and.
Get
try
the
to
ones
them
that's got
on board.
businesses there, get the ones, and bring them with you, and say we're fine
I
with
don't think it's approved to run like direct burial double aught wire from that residence out to that shop. That's not approved. You're not supposed to do that, are you?
On the,
I don't know that he
I
did
buried
that.
I buried a direct.
No, you don't have to say nothing. Don't go there.
All right, thank you for your comments, I appreciate it. All right, Mr. Bishop, this is,
Yeah, I'll
you're
make
ready
a
to
motion
set the hearing. All right, so motion by Mr.
Second.
Bishop to set the public hearing, second by Mr.
Second.
Morrison. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the like sign. So item 5 set for a public hearing again on the 15th. Item 6, Ms.
All
Renee?
right, the last item is a county-initiated rezoning in the Star area. We're proposing to change 23 parcels from C3 to RE1A in this area, 6 parcels from RE1A to C3, 1 from C3 to A1, and 1 from A1 to A2. We've received a call from several people who wanted to build residential homes on their property, and they're zone C3, so it's not allowed. And so we went back through that area from 7th Day Road to Main Street to try to identify any properties with residential homes on them that are zoned commercial. This is just a view of that zoning map, the way it exists today. And then the parcels shown in yellow are the ones that we're proposing to change. Letters were mailed to all of the property owners as well as surrounding properties within 160 feet, and we put out 8 zoning signs. We received 2 calls, and they wanted their property to remain commercial.
Even though they have a house on it.
These 2 did not. The last time we did this, when we worked with CMPDD, there were 2 properties that were C3. They were vacant. They were C3. But I guess because of the proximity to other homes or where they were located, we changed those to RE1A, and they were not in favor of that.
Are you saying though that some of these that you've identified
They
are opposed to going to residential and have houses on them?
I don't think any of the ones this time have said they were opposed if they had a house on it. That was previous. We've done this once
Okay.
before.
Right.
But we
Okay.
continue to have issues come up with some
We've
of
had a
the
lot of issues
lots.
since Jay
More
with it.
fine tuning of a process that
Right.
we began. What we discovered was when we went forward with a correction before, there were still 2 or 3 or 4
Corrections need to be made.
that corrections that didn't need to be corrected.
All right.
And there were some that didn't realize, they thought, well, this don't mean nothing to me, because I'm living here in a house now. The house was destroyed, and they can't build the house back.
Yeah.
And so they're going, oh my. So that's what we're trying to clean up, give them that opportunity to clean that up. And if they don't want to change it, that's fine, but otherwise, because you got a lot of them that are actually living in a home that's on commercial property. I think they did this back when they did air gas, maybe, and they brought it all the way out to 49, just even down what they call Main Street of Star.
If you have
And,
a house, an existing house that is on C3, you're fine because it's a non-conforming use, as long as you don't expand it, as long as it doesn't get destroyed, you can just stay right there, and
Mhm.
zoning won't affect you.
Can you sell
Unless
it?
you go to your bank and say, I'd like to refinance my mortgage.
Yeah.
And bank says, you're zoned commercial,
Right.
we can't do that. So you have to address the underlying zoning for reasons that are beyond just what the current use situation is sometimes.
Okay. Set a public
Yeah,
hearing.
we're gonna set, yeah.
So a motion by Mr. Morrison, set the
Second.
public hearing, second by Mr. Calhoun. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed with the like sign. So that'll conclude our new considerations under item 4. Yes, sir.
We got a lady out there like,
I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good, you all.
Did I miss you on the agenda?
No, it's up, I'm number 6. I'm
you're
Shakitra
I got
Hodge.
you. Yes.
I
so-
am a property owner of 230 Dixie Road.
Okay,
I've
tell us
been in
your
Star-
name.
Yes, I'm Shakitra Hodge.
Okay,
I
sorry.
own the property at 230 Dixie Road and
Right.
210 Dixie Road.
Mhm.
I did not know anything about a C3.
Right.
I had
Right.
tore my grandmother's house down, Yep, and the banker called me. They were out there to appraise it. Yep, and they told me that it was on, that I could not bill. Yep, so that's when I got in touch with a few people to see exactly what I need to do.
Talk to me and we got you in
Yeah.
touch there, that's right.
Yep, I do have a few letters of support of other people.
I think we're
Look,
good.
you won't,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
not
so-
gonna need that right now. That'll be more for at the public hearing.
Yeah.
But I don't think,
But-
I'll tell you, I've not gotten anybody called in opposition. Only ones that've called are like, curious why the sign's up. And they go, oh yeah. You know, none of them have called in any opposition. I don't think
But
there's
since
gonna
you've
be
got your
any
letters of support, if you want to give those to Ms.
Sure.
Renee, you can go ahead, while you have them here.
Okay.
Yeah.
But,
Once I explain what's going on, they're like, nobody has had anything. Now, there's some that may have some commercial property, and that's fine. They won't leave it that way, that's fine. But we're trying to help you and the numerous others that are in the same situation you are in, they could be in just like you.
Okay.
Okay, just leave that with her.
thank,
Okay.
thank you.
All right. Nice to put a face with a name.
Oh, yes, I know I've been
Yeah.
putting you out.
All right, all right, so this should close our new considerations under item 4. Mr. Renee, you have anything under site plan or architectural review? I don't
We
see
do
anything.
not.
Okay, so then we'll move into item 6, nuisance property hearings. Mr. Slay?
Yes,
Good
sir.
morning.
Thank you, gentlemen. Item 1 under nuisance property is the Jackie Taylor Estate nuisance property. This is a District 1 parcel, 1995 Florence Byram Road. We'll open that public hearing, and I'll ask Ms. Renee to demonstrate with the photos. Anyone here representing the Jackie Taylor Estate should be prepared to come forward.
All right, so we received a complaint about this property in July of '21. No power, water, or sewer, and the nephew of the owner was living in the home. The owner is deceased. These pictures were taken July the 6th. The certified mail was delivered. Somebody named James Jones signed for the mail, and these are the new pictures that were taken yesterday.
Nobody's living there.
There was somebody, I think, on the front porch the day she was there with the
Oh, yeah, I
pictures.
see it, yeah.
Have you heard anything?
Taxes being paid.
She's not received any calls or contact from.
Is there anyone here on behalf of the Jackie Taylor Estate to speak on this matter? Is anyone here on that matter? Mr. President, I see no one here. We'll close the public hearing. At this time, it'd be appropriate to take
I
action.
think, that's declared a nuisance.
Yes, sir.
Nobody's here.
All right, so motion by Mr. Morrison to declare a nuisance.
Right.
Second.
Second by Mr. Calhoun. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with a like sign. So item 1 is declared a nuisance and sent to justice court. Item number 2, Mr. Slay.
This will be the Walter Bragg Estate nuisance property considerations, District 2 parcel, 236 Bragg Street. We'll open that public hearing. I'll ask Ms. Renee to demonstrate with the photos. Anyone here on behalf of the Walter Bragg Estate should be prepared to come forward.
All right, we received complaints on this property August the 6th of this year. Rubbish, debris, and grass. These pictures were taken August the 9th. The certified mail was delivered. Kathy did receive a response from Angela Bragg, who said that she would have the property cleaned up. These are the new pictures that were taken yesterday.
All right. Mr. Slay. Anybody here for public comment? Come on up. Yep, come on up. Hey, good morning. If you would just introduce yourself to the board for the record, please.
I'm Angela Bragg.
Okay. And your address? Is this your address? 236 Bragg Street?
That's my address, but I don't live there, but my son lives there.
Okay. Tell us about it.
He did clean, I know he did clean some of the, property up yesterday. You can go ahead and talk.
Is that your son?
Yes, my son.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Well, I'm not all I can tell you about that, that's my burn pile and my kid's trampoline. Now the rest of that, that's like my chairs and stuff. I'm gonna put them back in my yard. And trying to I use my cooler every day. And so what else I need to move?
Did,
Clean it up.
yeah, we just need
Now, a
the
lot of
outside.
that, now, aside this stuff in the driveway right here,
Sure.
the rest of it back there not mine.
What's not yours?
Well, y'all,
That lumber,
the what?
that lumber over there?
I guess mine.
The lumber is mine.
Okay.
Yes. So,
Yeah, it is your.
The lumber is mine. It's on the trailer, but
so
it's mine.
here's what I'm gonna ask you to do. Is I want you to, who's been going out? Miss Kathy? Been going out? So here's what I'm gonna do. We'll move it up to Justice Court, but I'm gonna give you 45 days to get it picked up to where it meets under Miss Kathy's approval. She'll give you some advice on what she thinks needs to get picked up, cleaned up on the outside. And the purpose of this is try to keep the area as picked up as we can, because we want the area in a good spot, right? And you should want that also for your property. So, how does that sound to you? Can you continue to work, get it cleaned up?
Y'all have no problem. I guess, yeah.
Yeah, just throw your
Okay,
mama
let me-
stuff
Because,
on.
like, I'm asking, like,
Throw your
my,
mama stuff on the
Yeah.
fence.
okay, like, the trampoline be taken down because they done ripped that apart.
Right.
The burn pile, I use that 'cause I do burn.
Well, here's what I'm gonna ask you to do, is get with Miss Kathy, let her give you some suggestions on the things she needs done to get cleaned up and picked up.
All right.
And then I'll give you 45 days to get it done. That'll get you to almost Christmas. So just about to that time frame, we need it cleaned up, picked up, ready to go. Miss Kathy, that sound okay with you on that side?
I have one question too.
Sure.
Can you go next to the other photo?
Which one?
Right here, yeah.
Nah,
This, I don't know if y'all can see this part, this area right up in here.
Uh-huh.
Okay, go back
These
to
were some
another
things
picture.
that were left from another
take
individual,
that
Walter
off.
Gray, from a first incident that we had with him living in a camper
Yeah.
as a motorhome.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to get those moved?
Is it on your property?
It is
It's
on
all
our
on the
property.
same.
I'd let Mr. Slay answer that, but I would say anything on your property you're allowed to take care of, it's there, right?
If there's no understanding about somebody coming back and removing it, then it's abandoned. Y'all get rid of it.
yeah, they been gone since like,
your
I wanna say,
Over
yeah,
a
over a
year.
year. It's been just sitting
Your
there.
property, clean your property. We're telling you, clean your property. That's
Get
the-
everything out.
It's on your property, you deal with it,
And we,
right? So,
and we do have a place on Marquette Road that you can bring a lot of that stuff and drop off.
Because
Drop
he-
it off.
he-
So much.
The
Yeah.
individual just left, he left the barn camper that was there
Sure.
and stuffed it in, I don't think she got it behind his
I
home. He
understand.
just stuffed it right in the
but-
woods.
and again, it's on
Haul
your
it off
property.
the scrap.
Take care of it, okay? So
Make
if
you
you
a couple
would,
bucks.
if you would check with Miss Kathy, be sure she's got your contact numbers, right? And that'll give you 4 days, yes ma'am?
You saying all of this crap?
No,
Now,
no. I said haul it off for scrap.
I mean, haul it off is crap, okay?
Scrap.
I didn't say haul off for scrap, I said haul it off for scrap.
Okay, here is our issue, because
Okay.
we need to get a good understanding on this. We have tried to clean some of this stuff up on the other side where that,
What's she
the
talking-
lumber is at, where the lumber,
See if we can go back to the lumber.
Right there.
from that point on, we've tried to clean some of this stuff up, but our uncle comes out, he has a fit when we touch that stuff. He have called the police out there several times on different stuff that's out there. And that's what we having an issue with.
And I guess that's kind of my thing. If it's on your property,
It's all goes on the same property. It's all,
It's their property.
yeah, it's all under the same address.
So it's multiple heirs
Yeah,
to
but
this
you know,
property.
you're the one who's gonna be responsible for it, so you're gonna have to take control of the situation and deal with it.
You understand, but he's the one that called you guys because
Well, I'm gonna tell him to clean it up
Can I
too.
make a
he,
Yeah.
he won't.
Mr. Slay?
He
I
won't.
would like for us to ask the uncle, what's his name?
Walter.
Walter.
That's Walter.
But I would like to ask for the uncle to come in and explain what of this situation is your property, so that we can instruct him that he'll be the one talking to the justice court judge about whatever is left, all right?
and Mr. Slay, let me ask you this. Can we do that, let Miss Kathy talk to him
Yes.
and just speak to the additional property owner or
Tell
the
him come
neighboring
in.
area and explain to them what's going on? Yeah, I'm just trying to get it done
Yeah, I
faster
know.
than that. So my point is, we'll speak to those parties, but in 45 days, if it's not cleaned up, it's gonna go to justice court. And then everybody will be in front of the judge explaining to them why it's
We're
there,
gonna
right? So this
declare it.
gets,
Wow,
that's right, we'll declare it a nuisance now,
Okay.
45 days to get it cleaned up. Work with Miss Kathy to be sure she gives it the blessing that it's picked up. So whatever parties that'll be involved at that point, then that's where it'll go.
Yeah, I don't think anybody from the sheriff's department's gonna bother you cleaning it up. Just the feeling, you know?
It's on your property, so
Okay.
y'all good with that plan?
But I'm great with letting Mr. Walter know
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
Miss Kathy can
If
take care of
Walter's
that.
stuff is still there after 45 days, y'all can go to
It's not
judge and tell the
stuff, it's
judge.
junk, like old.
Crap.
Crap or scrap?
They're gonna magic word, crap.
Now you down to the crap, I gotta do the
It's
scrap.
crap. It's like,
Thank y'all for coming in. I appreciate you. If you would, be sure Miss Kathy has y'all's contact numbers before y'all leave.
okay.
All right, Mr. Slay, anything else to close it?
Y'all been pretty interesting, I'm glad y'all came in.
We'll make sure that hearing is closed.
All right, so
and
door's
the-
closed. So my motion will be 45 days, and then declare the nuisance for 45 days, and then for our
I'll
approval.
second.
So motion by myself, second by Mr. Calhoun. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed with the like sign. So item number 2
You got one more.
is moved up. So item number 3, Ms. Renee.
You got one more.
Right.
You got one more in the back.
Another nuisance property.
No,
We're still on item number 3 though.
Oh, okay.
I can't get to 4 without going
I
through
got you,
3.
I got you, I got you.
All right,
Item
number 3, Mr.
yes, sir.
Slay. I'm sorry, I said Renee. I
That's no
apologize.
problem.
Mr. Slay.
Item 3 is the Martha Garver nuisance property at 1078 Trickenbridge Road. That's a District 4 parcel. We'll open the public hearing. I'll ask Ms. Renee to demonstrate with the photos.
All right,
And,
so we received a complaint in February of this year about people living in campers, rubbish, inoperable vehicles, and appliances. The certified mail, some of it was undelivered and then some was delivered. Kathy had a response, and Ms. Garver said that she would clean it up. It would take her about 6 months. These pictures were taken February of '21. And then these are the new pictures that were taken yesterday.
Good morning. If you would, tell us your name for the record, and if you would, your address, where you live.
My name is Martha Garver. I live at 1078 Trickenbridge Road, Brandon, Mississippi.
Thank you. You want to tell us about your situation?
Well, I gave the property about 3 years ago. Not gave, but let my son live there. He brought all that stuff in there. Then I was diagnosed with cancer, and I was living in the camper at Edwards, Mississippi, on the Big Black.
Mhm.
I'd asked him to get that crap cleaned up. He didn't do it, and I got the nuisance thing anyway. And the camper was never lived in at my house, and it's still not being lived in. What it was, the slides were out, but it had gotten flooded when the Big Black flooded. And I had someone, he was fixing it, and he was taking all the flooring up and redoing it. That's why the slides were out. Then this year, I thought my son was getting all that, there's 2 vehicles there that are non-operable at all. And I told him to get them, and he was supposed to be getting them away from there, but he never did. As the new picture shows, I got back out there Tuesday, and if you see the truck there, we got all of that, and we're moving. I mean, it's already gone to the scrap yard. The trailer yesterday, they put one of the cars on it, and my dually, the white dually, it backed into the cupboard and blew out 2 of those tires on that trailer. So anyway, we got to get 2 new tires for the trailer to get one of the cars out of there. I have never had my property look like this, and I've owned that place for 40 years. But like I said, I gave it to my son to live in because he's going to inherit it when I die. I'm 70 anyway. I'm trying to get it cleaned up.
Okay.
Just tell me what I gotta do.
What we gotta do
and
is
leave
twist
me
his
in
button.
peace. That's all I ask.
I understand.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Garver, for coming to speak to us. Mr. Gaines?
Wait,
That car that's right back there,
Yep.
between,
Uh-huh.
it's already on the trailer, and it's hooked to the dually.
Okay.
But the dually, the trailer on the other side over there, he backed into that cupboard where that dually's sitting, that grass, there's a little cupboard there.
Right.
And it hit it, busted both tires.
Okay.
So now I've gotta get 2 new tires for the trailer.
Okay.
It's just something, every time I try to do something.
Is he
it
helping you
seems
with
like-
Your son?
Who? Yeah, a little bit.
He
I
better
have
be
another
helping a
guy
lot.
that I
Okay.
hired,
Yeah.
and he's helping. He's the one that helps do most of the stuff. When I got back there at my house in 30, part of 20, my whole back, when you go in the back door, hear that water get out of the hot water, that whole floor had to be replaced. It's just a Jim Walker wood frame house. The bathroom in the hallway, all of that water got out back there, and I had to have all of that replaced. I've still got my house in the dining room area is sinking because he has let all of the water from up on the hill go all up under the house. I mean, I'm having problems just living.
And he
I-
wanted,
But I know it's not your problem, it's my problem.
Sound like he's taking advantage of
I'm
it.
trying to get
Yeah.
this mess done.
Sure.
The blazer that's under that carport is his. All that junk that's under there, except for the 2007, you can't see it, there's a motorcycle under there.
does he
It
work?
was my husband's,
What's
and I
he-
will not get rid of it, y'all can find me, I'm not getting rid of the
Oh, does he
motorcycle.
work?
I understand.
Does he work?
Off and on. He was working out of state, then he came back, then he went back out of state, then he came, no,
Sure.
a yes and no.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I'll make a motion that we continue this monitor for 45 more days.
Declare a nuisance.
And then we'll,
Revisit it.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
will be cleaned up within a month.
Well, let's say
I'm tired of
with the
looking at it.
holidays and all, let's say
Okay,
45
can I
days.
say one thing
Sure.
before we close?
Sure.
Sure.
Can you get the picture to the front of my driveway? You see this, I'd like the other one too, if you would. No,
I'm not sure I'm going the right way. I'll
Right
just-
there.
Okay.
okay. I have begged the county for a good 40 years to clean those ditches out.
Sure.
The ones on this side of the
Better
road.
write that up.
On this side of the road, there is no drainage over there. Right here, past this cedar tree, right there,
Right.
is a culvert that they brought under the road. This whole area floods. I've had water all the way up to here in my driveway.
Okay.
And I've asked them to please clean it out. They came out there 2 or 3 years ago and put a culvert across the road. There's no way that culvert was no good.
Sure.
Because Pam, the lady that lives right across from me, her drive has no culvert.
Sure.
It's
Oh, look.
all, and it's all built up. Every year, I mean, right now, you can come to my house, and there is a puddle,
I
a
believe it.
pool of water that stays
All
there
right, Miss-
24 hours a day,
Miss-
365
We need to work on
Ms.
that.
Garver, here, let me stop you right there. You talking past the point of sale. I get you. Here's what we'll do. Mr. Gaines, we can have the road manager come out, take a look at it, see if we need to recut a ditch or drawings or,
They've done that. I've asked them and asked
No,
them
we're gonna-
out there.
Well, they'll
and
come take a
dig.
look.
They usually dig right at my cupboard
sure,
and leave a big hole.
yeah. Anything that they can do
Let's
to
see
help
what
the
we can
drainage,
do.
they'll do it. They'll come take a look at it. Mike, I'm sure we'll get a work order set for that.
I've asked and asked and asked.
My
yard gets so
we've
flooded.
asked.
But let me say this,
Yes,
one more
ma'am.
thing,
Yes,
and then
ma'am.
I'll shut up.
Okay,
My whole yard in the front there, past that, all of that, gets so wet,
sure.
you can't even use a tractor to cut it with a bush hog.
Yes, ma'am.
My tractor bows down. I've got ruts that deep, if
Sure.
not deeper, in the front yard because I can't cut it.
Right, so you understand the county's perspective of that. We can work
Right.
inside that road right away, right, which is X number of feet off the center line of the road. And our road manager come take a look at anything we can do inside our areas.
I
Right.
was told they will not cut a ditch between,
They
Pam,
won't,
all the way down to the road.
they won't go on private property.
No.
So that'll be up to the road manager. But look, I promise you, they're
We'll
gonna come
see.
take a look
Yeah,
at
we're
it
gonna
and see what
look
they can do.
Okay.
I'm glad,
Ms.
now
Carver?
you got it right before the whole board.
Thank you for coming in. So your motion, Mr. Gaines?
My motion,
We're closing that public hearing, by the way, Mr. Slay.
yeah,
It's to fix the ditch and clear the nuisance.
let's continue this for 45 days.
Okay.
And we'll revisit it as far as public nuisance. I'm almost to the point of saying just do it. We realize our road manager, sorry, lies to people and even goes out and makes matters worse. But hell, he's the only one we got.
That's right. we gotta deal with what we got, no. So, all right, so the motion by Mr. Gaines is to, suspend it for 45 days, continue
Yeah.
to monitor it.
Yeah.
We'll come back and revisit in 45 days.
Yeah.
Is there a second? Second by Mr. Bishop. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed with the like sign. So
Okay.
also in that motion, I think, was something about the road man.
Yeah.
We're gonna get
Don't
that-
worry about it.
Yeah, we're gonna get that ditch fixed.
Him and Word are back there playing music to each other, playing musical chairs, I think. So, all right. So item number 4, Mr. Slay.
Okay, this is a continuation of the Michael Beckham nuisance property at 128 Cypress Lane. This is District 1 property. We will reopen that public hearing. I'll ask Ms. Renee to demonstrate with the photos, and either Mr. Beckham or anyone on Mr. Beckham's
she's
behalf
there.
should be prepared to come forward.
She's here.
All right, so these were the old pictures that were taken September 29th, showing the condition of the property.
Now, just wait, hold on. Hold up.
And then these are the new pictures that were taken yesterday.
Mike,
Okay. All right.
okay.
Come on up. If you would, introduce yourself to us and tell us your address, please.
I'm Jane S. Beckham, 128 Cypress Lane, Florence.
Okay, in Florence. Okay. Good morning, Ms. Beckham.
Good morning.
Can you tell us about it?
Okay, I've had the property's been cleaned up. It's been bush hogged,
Okay.
and I'm making progress of getting it all cleaned up
Okay.
and getting the trailer, the roof on my trailer fixed.
Okay.
I got some friends gonna do that when they can work it between their jobs.
Okay.
And
Do you live there? You personally live there?
partially, yeah.
It's not.
You're not living
it's not
in
a
it,
rental.
you're not living in it now, are you?
No, sir.
No.
Well, why'd you say yes? When I asked
I'm not living in the trailer, but
What'd you think I meant?
my property.
Okay, never mind. Let's get
Okay.
going.
Let me ask you though, you know, we came out there and I thanked everybody for everything.
Mm-hmm. I do
But-
too.
The inside of that trailer is not livable.
I know.
And I think that's the whole thing. It's, in fact, we had that cleaned up right there. And now
I
you
got-
throw stuff out there.
Okay, I got mad. I cleaned that hole out. My washer started leaking. And I had to throw all that out in order to get to the pipes, to fix the washer pipes.
What I'm getting at, though, when we left there that day, we talked about it, and we gave you some great ideas of how to help yourself. But the end results, you had said even yourself, that trailer's not livable, and you can't spend enough money on it. And I'm just telling you, our people will tell you, you can't spend enough money on it to ever make it livable again. It's condemned. So if you're trying to fix a roof or whatever, you're really, to be honest, you're wasting your money. And we talked to you, Mr. Word, all of us talked to you about that and gave you some great ideas if you're gonna spend some money, where to help spend your money, because pictures won't do it justice inside. And you agreed. So I'm just saying, that just tell us you're gonna fix the roof, it's not gonna help anything, because you're just wasting money trying to fix the roof. The floor, first off, you'd have to clean the inside out. I don't know how you're gonna do that.
All right. What you want to do?
Well, and I'll speak for the car. The car there, we tried to move it, and it's, I think
The fuel
mice or
pump's
something
out.
got in it and eat the wiring up, and so she can't even move it. We couldn't even move it to clip, but I clipped everything.
Okay. A friend of mine's coming to get in the car.
Huh?
A friend of mine's coming and getting the car.
Okay.
It's gonna be moved because it's his Dodge Challenger. And I'm still
Do
making
you
notes on it.
understand that, I mean, the trailer's not livable? I
I
mean,
understand. And eventually, I'm gonna get another one to go on the property.
Okay, but right now what we're dealing with is what to do with that one. And the others, flip back, Renee, that's some of those pictures. I mean, I know it looks like a lot of stuff. Guys, y'all ain't, well, you saw the other
Those
we
black,
seen the pre-
those
Okay.
black bags is garbage.
Huh?
The black bags
Yeah.
is garbage.
Yeah, well, the garbage picks up Monday, Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
There, you take it out to the road, they'll pick it up, so you won't keep accumulating garbage.
And I got a friend he's coming, and we're taking all this garbage off and getting
Yeah, but I'm
everything.
just saying, you got garbage that comes, you pay for a garbage fee Monday and Thursday. It ran this morning. So why don't you put it out at the road and let them pick it up?
Thing about it, I haven't got a pickup now,
Well, you,
and,
A pickup,
to take it to the end of the road.
okay,
how far she got the road?
good piece, long way. I don't know really which way to go. I'm trying to help you, we've tried to help you, and
I
we're
know.
way beyond what normally we do. I mean, heck, we had a nice group of guys, equipment, came out there and did this. So
And
we need you to, I don't know the next step, I really don't.
I do. Nuisance.
Yeah, but if you, yeah,
She ain't living there
it's a
anyhow.
nuisance, huh?
She's not living there anyhow.
No, but you can't, how you gonna tear it down?
Oh, I don't
Pay
know.
somebody to
That's
haul it
my
off.
point, that's what I'm getting at.
Let the judge.
You're gonna
worry
declare
about
it a
that.
nuisance, there's no question there, but I don't know what we're gonna do with it. You care to-
Yeah. You got two options. One is, let the justice court handle it, the other one is to take it on yourselves under Title 19 and effectively clean the property and enforce your lien.
On the property.
Yeah, enforce your lien protection for whatever is expended to clean it yourself. There's,
See, the stuff, and that stuff out under the trees that we left, that she's got covered, she says that's her, those are personal belongings or things that she wants to keep.
cause I got brand new cookware
Yeah.
sets
Oh.
and stuff like that.
Okay.
All I know to do is declare the nuisance, and then we'll work at what we can do. I
All right.
don't know, that's, I mean, we can talk about it all day, but that's all I know to do. We've done everything we can do at this point.
All right, thank you, Ms. Beckham. So,
Thank you.
the public hearing is closed.
yes, sir.
So, motion by Mr. Morrison to declare it a public
Second.
nuisance. Second by Mr.
And
Calhoun.
then we're gonna work
Any,
through it.
any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the like sign. So I believe that wraps up the nuisance
does.
properties under item 6. Mr. Renee, anything else under your sections?
Hey, this, I don't know, it probably wouldn't fall under nuisance property. Mike, can you, there's a mattress on the side of old 43. It's been there at least 2 months.
Wow. Nobody
And
sleeping
I
in it?
have not seen anyone sleeping
Ain't
on it.
nobody using it?
Not that I can tell.
Probably waiting
So-
on some sheets or something.
Can you get one of them guys to throw it in the back of the truck? Thank you.
All right. That's right.
Make
Make them get up. Make them get up first.
It come up in church, I mean, the issue, and nobody there knew whose it was. So,
Steve, I had a couch, I just went and put it in my own truck, hauled it down to the county mall.
yeah.
All right, so next meeting on the planning commission will be December 2nd, 2021 at 9 a.m. So it wish to entertain a motion to adjourn to the planning commission.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Morrison to adjourn,
Hey,
second by Mr. Gaines. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with a like sign. So we'll move back in and call the Board of Supervisors meeting to order. We've, under item 6, Mr. Slay put you back up under again, but item A, under the Board of Supervisors agenda.
This is, I don't think this will be a difficult one here. This is authorization for the county to enter into a memorandum of agreement with the Mississippi Department of Transportation. This has to do with a piece of commercial property that is being considered for development on Highway 468 and 469 intersection. That's 2 Mississippi highways. MDOT's involved because of access to the property. What's being proposed is a convenience store, gas station situation, and the manner of access to the property is at issue, and MDOT has required the property owner to go through multiple gyrations to demonstrate how traffic flow is going to be handled around that proposed development. The reason that we're involved is that we have to permit the development. We have to go through a conditional use process. We possibly may have to go through rezoning. And before we get to that point, MDOT wants it to be clearly understood that there are going to be limitations on the development because of the challenges for the access. This agreement documents that the county is going to move forward, but only in conjunction with MDOT as it relates to the development of the property. It's going to have to be phased in on construction. The permitting is going to have to be controlled so that the MDOT access issue is a part of that permitting process, and that's what the MOA states. This board is not undertaking any financial obligation with this at all.
All right, so the board wishes to entertain a movement for authorization. Motion by Mr. Bishop,
Second.
second by Mr. Calhoun. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with the like sign. So item A is approved for authorization. Moving into item number 7 on the agenda, Mr. Harrison. How are you this morning?
Right. Like do road work accomplished for October and road work scheduled for November.
Making motion approved.
All right, so motion approved by Mr. Morrison,
Second.
second by Mr. Calhoun. Any further discussion?
Why are we doing that on a work session?
I'm not gonna be here Monday, so I was trying to get my stuff done, Joe. Nobody likes reading my stuff.
All right. All in favor say aye. Any opposed with the like sign. Item A passes. Item B, Mr. Harrison.
Request, to move our holiday from Thursday to Friday, like we did last year for Veterans Day.
All right.
Why do we do that?
I think we did it last year so they wouldn't take off Friday too. So they just end of the week. It breaks up the work week and then taking off on Thursday. So.
I mean, we won't have 10 guys here Friday, Jerry. We'll
I'm
lose
just
2 days.
curious. I couldn't remember why. Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve.
All right. So motion approved, Mr. Calhoun.
Second.
Second by Mr. Gaines. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Bishop threw me a curveball right there. So any further discussion? He said aye. So I thought I might have misspoke just for a second. So I think we said all aye. Any against? Item B passes. Item C. That's savvy. Bishop, you
All
got
right,
me broke right there.
got C and D, we got 2 AT&T permits, one's Greenfield Circle, which is District 3. The other one is 2 and 4 project,
Hey, Mike, before you go any further on that Greenfield Circle, you know
Yes,
what
sir.
we were talking about? I mean, is that gonna be put out of the right of way, or, you know, that right of way is pretty tight on
it's
Greenfield
supposed to
Circle?
be in the back side of the right of way. All that's supposed to be in the back 8 foot now. The way our permit is, we do improvements.
One day
They're
that
supposed-
Greenfield Circle is gonna have to be wide.
Right, but they're supposed to relocate if they're in our right of way.
All right,
That's in our permit
all
now.
right.
All right. So motion approved, Mr.
Motion
Calhoun.
approved.
By Mr. Calhoun. Second by Mr. Morrison. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed with the light sign. So item C passes. Item D, Mr. Harrison.
So we got E and F, which is Comcast, both of those are District 2 projects, Hidden Hills and Pleasant Harbor.
So I think you skipped over D.
He added C and D together.
I had C and D.
Oh, C and D's together. I apologize. So item E. So you're putting E and F together?
Yes, sir.
So I'll make a motion to approve items E and F together.
Second.
Second by Mr. Calhoun. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with the light sign. So item E and F is approved. Item G.
Okay, and then we got approval of Center Point for the installing of a gas line between Highway 25 and Mount Helm Road.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Gaines, second by Mr. Bishop. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with the light sign. So item G passes. Item H.
Southern Light, doing a fiber optic utility, construction between 25 and Mount Helm.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Gaines to approve.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bishop. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed with the light sign. So item H is approved. Mr. Harrison, you good?
I'm good, I got one additional business when we get to that.
All right. Perfect. Item number 7 on the agenda. Mr. Parker, good morning.
Morning, Mr. President. The only item we have on the agenda today is a discussion and potential action on the North Shore Causeway Bridge Guardrail Improvements Project. That's a District 2 project. In your packet, I think on the last page, you'll see the bid tab. We received 2 bids. The low bid was $439,548.15, and we thought this warranted some discussion because of the high cost of the project. And
Yeah, let me stop you right there just for a second, because I kind of want to remind the board what we got into. Where this is the Causeway Bridge going over to the North Shore. running down North Shore Parkway. When we originally had this discussion to bid it out, the cost of the materials we thought was gonna be in the neighborhood of about 200,000, a little bit of change. We went back to PRV and we asked PRV to join partners with us because underneath this location is where all the utilities and all are located. PRV ponied up after a long discussion and great work by Slay on that, dealing with them, to pony up $100,000 for it. The cost of the materials have gone up so much now that we're pushing almost $500,000, which would then take us out of pocket out of more. So I think the expense and cost of this right now warrants a further discussion and different options on it, not to go down this route of spending that kind of money on it.
And Mr. President, if I could add right there, the existing guardrail has been removed and temporary impact attenuators have been put on the four corners of the bridge. They're temporary, but the bridge is safetied up as best we can in a temporary manner. So it's, the busted guardrail and the fragments have been taken up, so.
My biggest fear in this location is that it ties into a bike trail that comes across it, and that's where the utilities and all that are in place right now. I think we need a more permanent solution in this location that's not gonna affect, one, the utilities that are there, movements, that if we have some other kind of damage to it, then we're out $500,000 on the start side of it. So what I'd rather do is not move forward on this because the price is almost, what's more than double. It's gonna triple on our cost on the side of it, but allow Mr. Parker and Mr. Harrison to continue to find a better solution. We've got temporary stuff in place right now, but allow you to come up with some different options on either widening some sections.
Project, it was $75,000.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean.
So we're at $500,000 right now. So, and I guess every time we blink, MDOT comes back with different regulations on requirements, on guardrails and things of that nature. I don't want to go down there. I think right now, we're spending too much money on a non-permanent solution. I want to try to get to that permanent solution of it where it's right. That's not going to affect the utility.
How do you foresee that happening?
Well, the good answer is that we don't have to foresee it. Parker and Harrison needs to come back with some different options other than what we're at right now.
Somebody running into it? I mean, somebody
Well,
will run into it again.
Potentially,
Well,
if you could widen it out somehow and push the bike lanes out a little bit more.
You see, it narrows down right there at that spot. It's not uniform all the
You
way
nailed
across,
part of the
but-
issue there. Somebody's gonna hit it the way, if you put these in, and they're $50,000 a corner just for the pieces of equipment, and it gets hit fairly often, so.
I just
we
don't
need
What
to-
was the change you had to make? When we bid this out,
So,
then you had to
what,
take it back.
what happens is there's a grade separation with the, walking trail as it goes down. It doesn't go across at the grade of the bridge. For some reason, they lowered it down. So at the end of the road, as the bike trail starts going down and leaving the road. So there's a grade separation between the edge of the road and the bike trail. So we had to extend everything out. So this, you actually have to build bridge rail out before you can put the impact attenuators on. So you're building 50 foot of bridge rail to extend out from the bridge. So that's why if we can move or do something in the likes, and there's several options we can research, but if we can try to get the bike path further out, that grade separation potentially could go away. You might could put the attenuators closer to the bridge. You might could widen the bridge.
I'd just like to have some different options than what we got.
That number's getting bigger by the minute.
Yeah.
Well, but I guess my problem is if we spend 3 times the money now and it's not the right solution, we're wasting it. So
And
I'd rather have-
potentially at the time that if you, and I know I don't want to get too far off in the weeds, but if you did something like widening the bridge, you might there might be some additional sources of funding that would make it not so impactful on the county's direct budget.
We proceeded on with this project thinking we were going to spend 100 and some change on it. Now we're going to spend 350 on it or more. I don't think it's the right option necessarily. So
PRV don't
So
add
the
up
other
anymore,
thing,
do they?
as
no, they've decided they're capped.
as the guidelines change, what we don't know, first of all, we would be putting this on top of existing utilities. So if the utilities erupt or something, we got to deal with that over our new equipment. If the equipment gets hit,
We
then-
start back over.
Well, and we don't know if what we put there today would be acceptable in a year. So we may have to redesign it again. So that's why pushing it out, getting it out of the way.
There's 2 justifications for rejecting all bids, and that's what you're being counseled to do here. The primary basis is you're out of the money. The secondary basis is the solution that has been designed at this point is subject to being damaged again frequently by poor driving. You will be repeating this. That's your second justification. The point being this, bring us a solution that takes out the poor driving aspect of it as much as possible.
All right.
When somebody hits it, I mean, if they got insurance, I mean, does that cover, won't cover?
The last time we got hit, and this was probably number 4 in a series of accidents over the last 2 years, the last time that it got hit, it was by a drunk driver with no coverage.
Can we take the insurance out on the regular?
I don't think it works that way.
All right, so my motion will be to dismiss the current action that we're taking right now and allow Parker and Harrison to get together with a better plan on different options on fixing this bridge. So
And that's
You're
rejecting that bid and go back a different route of a,
bases that were stated, you're rejecting all bids, and you're instructing the consulting engineer to bring additional options to solve this problem.
correct. That'd be my motion, so. No,
I'll second.
so motion by myself, second by Mr. Calhoun. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with like sign. Item A passes.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Anything else, Mr. Parker?
That's all I have, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good
Item
deal.
8, Mr. Hicks, good morning.
The single item I have is for the agenda on Monday, if there's any questions.
I haven't really had time.
All right?
Anything, Jay?
No,
Monday?
I'm good.
All right.
James?
Nope.
Brad?
I guess.
Jerry?
Good.
All
All right, I
right.
think we're all good there, Mr. Hicks.
And we-
Anything else you want to bring up under your section?
Executive session for personnel.
Okay. Any other additional business? I know Mr. Harrison had something he mentioned he wanted under additional business. Come on up.
I do have one thing.
Some
on
additional
business.
All right.
This is just a little bit of a cleanup on a bond deal. But I gotta have board authorization to do it, so we'll have to add this and then make a motion. So basically what I'm doing is moving some money from Civil Link to the Stoll Road project to clean up. It was designed to go both ways on it, but anyway, it all went in one project, so I need to move the money from Civil Link program to Stoll Road. Stoll Road, this is what we talked about earlier this year.
From my understanding, Stoll Road was in the Civil Link plan, and we
Correct.
had a line for it. And then when we were working on the bond, we put a portion,
In the Stoll Road.
about 3/4 of
Yep.
the road, we said this amount, 250,000 or something like that, be on Stoll Road.
250.
And anyhow, it was on both lines, in both ways, so.
So what are we putting in it now?
No, I mean, just.
I'm just
He had
moving the
on two
money,
lines.
I'm moving
He
the
had
money
on
from
two-
Civil Link to the Stoll Road
But if
project.
you
We're
got
through
some
with the
extra money
project.
down there,
250, one was 250, I
If you
remember.
got some extra money though, if you got some extra money, we sure use it, because we didn't get
No,
finished with the road.
Huh?
We didn't get finished,
Yeah.
it wouldn't go
This is
far enough.
cleaning up some accounting stuff right here, so.
All right,
it
so
looks
motion by
like
Mr.
we're on.
Gaines to approve?
Yeah.
To add.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Motion by Mr. Gaines to add.
Second.
The vice president over is good, so it's good. Second by Mr. Morris. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with the light sign. So that was to add it. So Mr. Gaines to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Second by Mr. Morrison. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with the light sign. Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
y'all.
Harrison. Anything else?
That's it, thank you.
Mr. Swales, you have anything?
Hey, I got one additional.
All right, so additional business, Mr. Cohen?
Yeah, I got an area in District 3 that I've had a lot of calls on, that the county or the state owns the property, but it's abandoned trailers on it, and they're wanting to know, well, I talked to Craig about this, and if they went in and bought it from the county or from the state and cleaned that property up and hauled the trailer off, could we give them some kind of assistance on land tax?
You can do that through an incentive program. I need to research the specifics about what the board has to do to establish that program, but it would be a specific program. It would be designed to be within a defined district or area, so you can put controls on who is eligible, where the eligible properties are, and what qualifications have to be met in order to qualify for the exemption, but there is a way to do that.
Are they doing any improvement to it?
Well, they don't own the property. I mean, it's either abandoned property.
Right, when they buy it,
That
they
joins
wanna-
them, they wanna buy it, but then they don't wanna go through the cost of, if it costs $3,000 or $4,000 to clean or have the
I mean, you
trailer.
got urban renewal, but if
But
you
we
go
can-
hire the renewal, you gotta have some type of investment, I think, you know.
Well, it's clearing blighted property, Jay. So I'm thinking that the incentive would be that after they take title of the property, they, to the extent that they remediate the nuisance or clear the abandoned property of a nuisance, that amount of money can be used as the incentive package.
Right, well,
So-
that makes sense, but it's not for the purchase of the property though.
No, not
No,
the
sir.
purchase. the
They gotta
property.
buy it
They gotta
first.
buy it
And then
first.
the amount of money it costs them to get it cleaned up.
We
They
could,
would have to apply for it, they would have to qualify for it, it would have to be tracked.
Yeah,
They-
simplest way would be for us to declare a nuisance, go clean it up, put that on the property. And then when the property sells, because nobody's paying the taxes, they'll buy it for the appraised value, or really the bidded, and they don't wanna do that.
Steve, when the lien goes in place, it starts generating and clicking off interest at the statutory rate. So I'm thinking that the number's gonna probably get well beyond what the actual value of the property is.
Are they gonna have to, I mean, when it goes to sale in here,
Yes, sir.
is that gonna be the price, or is it gonna be the price that people bid on it?
It's gonna be, the minimum amount will be the amount that's owed to the county, and that
Okay.
lien would be
Okay, my bad.
on there. It would be offered for sale for what is owed. It would be the ad valorem that's currently due, plus that lien amount with all the interest that's accrued.
And some of this property is, I mean, we don't know who to contact. There's no owner, and the tax are not
That's
being
what the
paid
state
on it,
owns.
and I
What the
mean.
state owns.
yeah.
If it's struck off to the state, Steve, it's not going through the sale anyway. It's sitting there, as part of the inventory of the Secretary of State. So they gotta
Then it
get,
would become Delbert's,
they gotta get title from the Secretary of State first.
yeah,
So
Watson, I mean, yeah, let's go.
it's one of those deals
Okay.
where we could set it up as a
Okay,
program
okay.
and just
making
see how it
fun of me
works.
now.
I'd like to try to get something set up.
So what do you want to do?
Go ahead and research and see.
Authorize Slade to go look into it for options?
Just let them
Make a
research.
motion.
I don't think we
You
can
You need a motion to
authorize
do
it,
that, or you
let
just
them
want
look
to
at it.
take the run?
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all just need to understand, I'm gonna be trying to work on that and work with Brad to make sure we get all our bases covered.
Okay.
I'll let y'all know.
Yeah, no
So you're good on that?
Get it back on.
All right, anything
tax
else
rolls
under,
on it.
additional business? Jay? Gaines?
No,
No,
All right.
we ready.
So we'll take a motion to go into executive session. I think Mr. Hicks said personnel and litigation also. We'll hit both of those. So
I'll make a motion.
Second.
motion by Mr. Bishop, second by Mr. Calhoun. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the like sign. So we'll end.
make a motion to go into executive session for personnel litigation.
See, that's the motion from Mr.
Second.
Bishop, second by Mr. Gaines. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the like sign. So executive session, if we can clear the room. Mr.
Yeah.
Word in his slacks.
what is that hold on, what's the term that Jews call us? We are,
Honorary.
I don't know that one.
yeah, you